What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to the channel and happy Friday. If you guys are watching this video on the date that this video drops. If not, I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. But guys, if this is Friday, that means it's time for my final order cutoff, recommendations, and speculation show. This is the video. The one and only video where I look at every single book on this weekend's final order cutoff and I try to find all the cool covers, all the cool new #1s, and any ongoing story that I think you guys have to be picking up because the story is just so good. I gather all the cool information and I give it to you guys. But guys, that is not all. I also read the synopsis for every DC and Marvel book and try to figure out if there's any books with something in the guts that you and me can speculate on so that maybe we can try to make this hobby fund itself. But it's mainly about just giving you guys the cool information about all the books that I'm really excited about, so that way you guys can tell your local LCS or go online and pre-order these books to make sure you guys get yourself a copy of all these amazing comic books. So, without further ado, we should cover this weekend's final order cutoff order deadline dates, and that is this upcoming Monday, September 9th of 2024. I think orders are due by 5 p.m. I'm not 100% sure on that. If anyone knows, let me know down in the comments below if there's a specific time on Monday that you guys need to get your orders in by. I'm honestly not sure. I'm just kind of guessing at 5 p.m. But they are due on Monday. All right, so that is your final order cutoff, order deadline dates. That means we can dive into the fun stuff, which is my final order cutoff, cover level picks. There are some really cool covers coming out on this weekend's final order cutoff. Now, not every single one of these books is truly spec worthy. Most of them are just cool covers that I found that I want to share with you guys. But if there's any ones that I think you guys could speculate on and possibly flip on the secondary market for a little bit of extra money, I will let you guys know while I'm covering that cover. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into these books because there is a lot of them. And first up could be a controversial cover. I think it's pretty cool, but it's also really freaking creepy. This is Absolute Power, issue #4 with the cover J, which is the Power Participation variant, done by Juliet Nika. Now, if you look at the characters in the very front, they look creepy as F. What is going on with their faces? But if you look past that and you look at Supergirl, which is what your focus should be, she definitely has like this little sex appeal going on for her. But if you look a little bit closer at her, she looks creepy as well. What is going on with this cover? But I think it is really cool, and I think when people forget about this cover could be an awesome one to have in your collection. Now guys, next up is Batman issue #153. This is the cover F. It's the 1:25 ratio variant done by Marco Mastrazzo. Now this is a gorgeous Batman cover, especially if you stop looking at Batman, like cover him up and just look at the rest of Gotham. It is so gorgeous. It is a fantastic cover. All right guys, next up is Birds of Prey issue #14. This is the cover B variant done by Sozo Micah. It's not fantastic, but it's a Sozo cover. I gotta share the Sozo covers with you. It is pretty cool. The more I look at it, I think the more I like it. But when I first saw it, I definitely was like, ooh, Sozo, what are you doing? But the more I look at it, it's pretty cool. I like the bats in the background. She's got her cape open, looks like a bat. I don't know. I'm falling in love with it. All right, guys, next up, we have Poison Ivy, issue #26. Now, this is the cover F variant. It's the 1:25 ratio variant done by Sebastian Fumera. Now, this is a spec-worthy book. Why? Because Poison Ivy is a very popular character. A lot of her 1:25 variant covers that are this awesome tend to sell well on the secondary market because it is both sexy and creepy as F. And this is coming out in the month of October, so it's a great, like, you know, Halloween book. Now, one thing to remember, guys, is that the 1:25s do not have a discount if you order early on final order cutoff. All the open order covers, you can save up to 20% off the cover price of those books ordering by the final order cutoff date, which is this upcoming Monday, September 9th, but the 1:25s, you cannot get that discount on them. So just a reminder that 1:25s, 1:50s, any ratio books do not have a discount when ordering on final order cutoff. All right, guys, next up, Poison Ivy issue #26 with the cover B in the 1:50 Virgin ratio variant done by Jenny Frison. What do you guys think about this cover? There's been so many Jenny Frison Poison Ivy covers. I'm not loving this one as much, but it's still really good. I really like it, but I just don't love it. And is that because there's been so many first-in covers over like the last few years that she's just watering down her popularity? I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. All right, guys, next up is Exceptional X-Men issue number 2 with the 1-in-25 ratio variant done by Miguel Mercado. Now, I picked up issue number 1 only because of that awesome 1-in-25 Joel Jones cover, and I'm probably going to pick up issue number 2 because of this awesome Miguel Mercado cover, but I'm not reading it. But if anyone is reading this book and you like it, let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, continuing. Next up is Fantastic Four issue number 26 with the cover A done by Joshua Cassara. This is an awesome horror-themed Fantastic Four cover. I think this is really, really cool, and maybe off in the distant future when this cover is completely forgot about, something could happen where this cover could gain a little bit of popularity, so there could be a tiny bit of cover spec with this because it is so freaking cool. But definitely tread lightly with speculation on this cover. All right, guys, next up is Fantastic Four issue number 26 with the Doom variant done by Ben Harvey. I'm a big Ben Harvey fan, so I've got to share all of his covers with you guys. This one is pretty cool, and Doom looks epic, and he's completely decimated the Fantastic Four. It's fantastic. All right, guys, next up, we have either 4 or 5 covers for the new ongoing Iron Man series, and they're all fantastic. Now, first up, we got Iron Man issue number 1 with the cover A done by Yasmin Putri. Fantastic. It's Yasmin. She's freaking awesome. But next up, we get Iron Man issue number 1 with the negative space variant done by John Tyler Christopher. I'm not a huge fan of these negative space variants, but this one right here for Iron Man is really epic. This new, like, old school Iron Man armor is so cool, and it looks great in this negative space variant. Now, next up is Iron Man issue number 1 with the foil variant done by Philip Tan. Just great. What part of it's going to be foil? Is it just going to be like one big foil cover, or are they going to spot foil it? I think spot foil will be a lot better than just covering the whole thing with foil, but you guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. So next up is Iron Man issue number 1 with the variant cover done by Scotty Young. Fantastic. When he puts like a big background and lots of elements in the scene, it really highlights his, like, you know, little kid version or baby characters of the Marvel characters. And this one is so, so good because there's like so many elements all around Iron Man. It's just, it is so cool. 2 more covers for Iron Man issue number 1. Next up is the variant by Sumat Kumar. Fantastic. Fantastic. So many of these are fantastic. Next up is probably my favorite. This is Iron Man issue number 1 with the 1-in-25 in the 1-in-100 very lazy Marvel Virgin ratio variant done by Linnell Francis Yu. How lazy is that? You get an awesome 1-in-25 and they just make it a 1-in-100 Virgin? Like, come on, Marvel, do better. But this cover by Linnell Francis Yu is really, really good. And next up is Sentinels issue number 1. This is a new ongoing series over at Marvel Comics, and this is the 1-in-100 Virgin variant done by Jeremy Wilson. I would think it's an ongoing. I should probably not say that it is an ongoing because I'm not 100% sure. I'll find out and put it up on screen right here if it is an ongoing or a miniseries. But there's a bunch of new characters in this, and they're all like Sentinels, but they're Sentinels for good. We'll talk about this in a little bit more, but this is a really, really cool cover. All right, guys, next up is Star Wars Ewoks issue number 1 with the variant cover in the 1-in-50 Virgin ratio variant done by Ben Harvey. Again, guys, I'm going to show you every single Ben Harvey cover because I think he's a fantastic artist. And this one is okay. I don't love it, but I'm going to share it with you either way. Are you guys excited for Ewoks issue number 1? I'm personally not picking it up, but I would love to hear if you guys are big Star Wars fans and are excited for these new number 1 Star Wars books. All right, guys, next up is a gorgeous cover. This is Venom issue number 38 with the variant in the 1-in-100 Virgin ratio variant done by Gabriel Del Otto. Now, there's nothing in the guts of this book, but this Del Otto cover is really, really good. Maybe the 1-in-100 Virgin could be a good spec buy if a lot of people fall for this cover. But I'm not 100% sure. Make sure you guys are doing your own research. Next up is a gorgeous cover. This is Red Sonja and the Devil, issue number 2 with the cover B, done by Selena. Now, there is a version of this. I'll find out which letter. I didn't write it down here in my notes, but this cover, yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. Now, guys, next up is an awesome cover, also for Red Sonja and the Devil, issue number 2. This is the cover C, which is the trade dress, and then the cover I, which is the 1-in-20 black and white variant with the trade dress, and I think that's probably my favorite. And there's also the cover J, which is the 1-in-25 Virgin ratio variant done by Moriat. I'm going to say it's that, but this cover, va va voom, voluptuous. This is such a great cover. I really, really like it. I think I really do like the cover I, which is that 1:20 black and white ratio, the most. All right, guys, 4 more covers, and 3 of them I don't have the images for yet. Next up is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 3 with the 1:25 ratio variant done by Danny Earls. Now this continues the connecting cover set of all the 1:25s. I picked up the first 2 so far. No, the first 1. And when issue number 2 comes out, I want to pick up the 1:25 in the 1:100. And then when issue number 3 comes out, I want to pick up this 1:25 and just continue that connecting cover set. All right, guys, the last 3 books I do not have the covers for, but I think these will all be awesome covers. We got Grommets issue number 1, the 4th print variant, Grommets issue number 2, the 3rd print variant, and Grommets issue number 3 with the 2nd print variant. All these additional printings have been really cool covers. Most of them have been new artwork. There has been a couple that has just been reprints of the original artwork, but Grommets is such a fantastic story, like so great. It's full of nostalgia and greatness, and you guys should be reading it. But guys, those are all my cover lover picks on this weekend's final order cutoff. I called out a few spec picks. The rest are just really fun covers that I wanted to share with you guys. But we can move on to the next section, which are all the books that had a little something in the guts for speculation. Alright guys, before we dive into these books, I just gotta remind every single one of you watching this video for this section right here, do your own research. That is so important. And I expect you guys to check these 2 places before you speculate on any of these books. The first place up is the Comic Book Frontier. It is a fantastic Facebook group run by my good friend Al, and he updates his final order cutoff information all the way up into the order deadline dates. And he's great at finding little nuggets of information that no one else does. And there's also coverprice.com. They put out a fantastic article every single week. I believe it comes on Saturday or Sunday, but it's written by Lefteros. He's a great community member. He has a great Instagram handle. I'll make sure I link that down in the description as well if you guys want to follow him. He's a great speculator, especially on New Comic Book Day spec in Final Order Cutoff. But check those 2 places before you speculate on any of this information. And also, I record this video before all the books are locked in for this weekend's final order cutoff, because DC Comics, Marvel Comics, and all the independents have until 5 p.m. today on Friday, and I'm recording this video at 9 a.m. It's 9:07 right now. So some books could be removed or added after I finish recording this video. All right, that is my little spiel about speculation in this weekend's final order cutoff. Make sure you check coverprice.com in the Comic Book Frontier before finalizing your orders, and let's dive in to these books. And first up, we got Batman issue number 153. Now, there is the possible first appearance of a new hero, and if you read the solicitation, they mention a unnerving new hero, Commander Star, will be in this issue. So Key Collector didn't pick up on that. I don't know why, but it does mention a new unnerving hero, Commander Star. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe that will be a really cool character, and they are a hero. Heroes tend to do better on the secondary market than villains. But then there is Punchline, and Punchline did way better than a lot of people, and she continues to do well. So just keep an eye on everything, I guess. Next up, we get DC All-In Special issue number 1. And again, Key Collector didn't mention this because I used Key Collector as a secondary source to double check the information I'm gathering. But with this, I believe we're going to get the first appearances of the Absolute Batman, the Absolute Superman, the Absolute Wonder Woman, and possibly any other Absolute characters that might be introduced in this issue. Wouldn't that be their first appearance if they are appearing in this before their ongoing series? I would think so. Is that right? Is that wrong? You guys let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, next up, Conquest 2099, issue number 1 with the first appearance of Spider-Side 2099. And what I loved about the synopsis for this book is they called out at the very end of the synopsis, guys, in the first appearance of Spider-Side 2099, the people who are writing the book, who wrote the synopsis, are telling you their first appearance is in this book, which was so great. I didn't have to double check any sources. All right, guys, next up we get Iron Man issue number 1 with the debut of a new Iron Man armor and the debut of a new Ironmonger armor, which is pretty cool. All right, guys, next up we get Sentinels issue number 1 with the first team appearance of the Sentinels with Sawtooth, Lockstep, Drumfire, and Voivod. I want to say that's how it is. Voivod? Voivod. That's what I'm going to say. Voivod. Guys, if I'm right or wrong, let me know down in the comments below. But this is a new group of Sentinels that are not for bad. They're not out to hunt mutants or humans. They're just there to protect everybody, which is could be pretty cool. Now, I'm not sure if this is an ongoing or not. I'll find out, and I'll make sure I put that up on screen for you guys, because I honestly did not look at that before I added that for speculation. And I think if it's an ongoing, it could be a little bit more important, but who knows. All right, guys, next up is the Ultimates issue number 5 with the first appearance of the Ultimate Hawkeye, a Native American hero. And when you read the synopsis for this character, they actually kind of steal the bow and they become Hawkeye on their own, and then Iron Lad goes and tries to take the bow from him because it's Stark Tech, and that is a pretty cool way to introduce this new Hawkeye character, in my opinion. And that's it for speculation for this weekend's final order cutoff. But make sure you guys are checking the comic book Frontier and coverprice.com before you finalize your orders, because they are so great at finding additional books that you guys should be considering for speculation. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into the few books that I found on this weekend's final order cutoff that I think you guys should be picking up for the story itself. All right, guys, there are 4 books on this weekend's final order cutoff that are new number 1s that I think you guys have to be picking up because the story sounds so freaking good. Now, the first one that we're going to talk about is a book that I had no idea how I missed this when this was on previews, because this is a book I am 100% going to want in my collection and to read, and it is Hyde Street issue number 1. Now, just saying the name, you're probably like, why? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because it's written by Jeff Johns, and it's going to have art by Ivan Reyes, and it's part of the Ghost Machine imprint over at Image Comics. Ghost Machine. Everything Jeff Johns is putting out over there, I want. Because everything that I've been reading so far has been freaking amazing. So I need this book. And guys, it's a horror book. That's right. Jeff Johns writing a horror book just blew my mind. Blew my mind. All right, now let's read the synopsis. Series premiere. A new epic era in character-centered horror begins as Ghost Machine launches Hyde Street, its newest ongoing, which is the most important thing, ongoing series from creators Jeff John and Ivan Reyes. In every city and town, off every country road in Metropolis Avenue, if you make a wrong turn, you might find yourself on Hyde Street. But be careful who you talk to and what you do, because the consequences make death itself seem like the easy way out. Introducing Mr. X-Ray, Pranky, the world's most dangerous scout, Miss Goodbody, and many more out of delight, fright, and say goodnight. What is their secret and that of Hyde Street? Only they know for now. So cool. So cool. Now, I have only found a cover A that has been released so far. I haven't found any interior artwork to share with you guys, but Ivan Reyes is a great artist, and the fact that Jeff Johns is writing a horror book for himself, and it's going to be character-driven stories, sold. Sold! I'm so excited for this book. Now, next up, we have Iron Man issue number 1. Now, this is a new ongoing series over at Marvel Comics featuring Tony Stark, one of my favorite characters when I first started really getting into Marvel Comics. I forgot what series it was, but it was all to do with the Mandarin rings or Meridian rings, whatever the hell they're called. It was such a great Iron Man story. Oh, and then when he made that Iron Man suit that was in his body, I forgot what that was called as well. It was so cool. There were so many good Iron Man stories back then. And then there was like a whole drought where Iron Man was just a stupid, terrible character. And I'm really hoping this series is going to bring him back and make him an absolute badass. But let's go ahead and read the synopsis for this book, because I already showed you all the gorgeous, amazing covers. A new, brutal era begins. Roxxon and AIM team up to take on Stark Unlimited. But they're ready for the old Tony Stark. This one? He's a lot angrier than he used to be. Iron Man is going to war. New armor, old enemies, and unbelievable twists abound in a fresh take on a fury-powered Iron Man from Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Spencer Ackerman and groundbreaking artist Julius Ota. Now, what is really interesting right there is that this is going to be written by a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, and he's going to be writing a comic book. So I'm not sure. I haven't done any research into this person's past, which is Spencer Ackerman. I kind of want to just dive in and not go in with any preconceived notion of who this writer is. But it's very interesting that a journalist is writing a comic, but I'm really excited because his new suit is just absolutely badass. It's like old school and retro, and it's kind of nostalgic for some reason, and I'm all about nostalgia right now, so I am all in on this book. I hope Tony Stark is an absolute badass, and I just can't wait to read this book. But guys, there's 2 more books that we got to talk about. Next up is DC All-In Special issue number 1. Now, I'm pretty excited for this book because this is launching the whole Absolute universe over at DC Comics, and I got to tell you, those Absolute versions of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman look absolutely epic, and we get some great creative teams behind those books. Scott Snyder, Jason Aaron, I forgot who's writing the Wonder Woman, but I don't care. I'm diving into this book with positivity, and I can't wait, and that Absolute universe is exploding out of this issue. So let's go ahead and read the synopsis for this book. Following the events of Absolute Power, the heroes of the core DC universe have fought against the deep divisions in the world around them to usher in a new era of unity. And it's just in time too, because Darkseid has returned. Superman gathers every DC hero on Earth to hold the line against a vastly different version of the Lord of Apocalypse as they rise our cosmic defenses and prepare for war. And when the first blow lands, the shockwaves ripple across the core DC series, shaking the nature of the realities in their very foundation. But a greater threat looms on the horizon in the Absolute universe. Here, DC's biggest icons come of age with fewer advantages while facing greater opposition than ever before and retaining the immutable heroism that continues to inspire and entertain fans. Can they really protect the light that shines inside them when the world in which they live is hurtling towards a terrible destiny? I don't know. But there are some really cool covers for this All-In Special, and I think the one by Wes Craig is the most interesting. I don't love his style of art so much for this DC superhero world, but when you see the full spread, I'll make sure that's up on screen right now, it looks incredible. When you can see the back cover and the front cover together, it is just gorgeous. So I'm really excited for that book. Now, this last book I'm going to mention to you guys, I did not read the first volume of this, but it's written by one of these writers, which I totally forgot I absolutely love. Kyle Starks is a writer that if you haven't read anything by him, go pick something up, because I almost guarantee you you're going to have a great time reading that book. And if I could suggest a book, if you haven't read anything by Kyle Starks, Pine and Merrimack. Pine and Merrimack was one of my favorite books so far of 2024, if not my favorite book so far. It is so good. So good. But Where the Monsters Lie, Cul-de-sac issue number 1 is on this weekend's final order cutoff, and let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this book so that way you guys can get a little idea about what this book is all about. The hit meta-horror comedy by Eisner-nominated writer Kyle Stark returns just in time for Halloween. Come join us, friends, for it's time to visit another gated community for slashers and meet a new cast of horrible monsters as we return to the world where monsters lie. Connor Hayes, final girl turned apex monster hunter, has been brought to Site B and expected to be a good little killer. But will he cooperate? And what sort of bone-tingling secrets inhabit this new horror hamlet? Now, if you guys did not know, Where Monsters Lies follows a community of monsters. Basically, you know, murderers, killers, that type of thing. They all live in these little communities so that they're gated away from the normal public, and it's stories about them. But it's a comedy horror series, and Kyle Stark is he's fantastic. Now, my good friend Josh did read the first series, and he absolutely loved it, and many other people read this series and really enjoyed it. So if you're really into horror-themed stuff, but you like a little comedy thrown in there, definitely check out this series by Kyle Stark. It's most likely going to be a home run. Now, I am personally just going to dive right into the series, so I don't think it's so much as a continuation of the first series, but a new set of people in a new different community. So you can just dive right into this new series, and I'm really excited about it. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed, and let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Alright guys, we are at the end of today's video. It's another week, another Wednesday pull list, and another final order cutoff video done and out of the way. I hope you guys enjoyed both videos. If you haven't watched the Wednesday pull list just yet, make sure you guys go watch that video. It's a really fun video talking about the new books that dropped on this week's new comic book day that I was really excited about. Now, if you guys are still watching this video right now and you guys watched from the very beginning all the way to the end right now, I just gotta tell you guys, you guys are legends. Thank you guys so much for supporting the video. Now, if you watch that video and you enjoy comic book content, especially new and future comic book content, like, you know, books that haven't come out just yet, like preview books and final order cutoff, but you're not subscribed, I'm just gonna tell you, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notification, and smash that like button. All right, guys, have yourself a great Friday and a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys next week on the Wednesday pull list. All right, guys, catch you in that one. Peace.